Hello comic book fans, this is your host Travis Collins. As always, I am Duck Punch, and I've got the last 3 reviews for the books that I got on August 18th. Only 3 are left, but they're 3 pretty interesting ones. I tried to save the best for last. Today we've got Power Girl number 15, Uncanny X-Men number 527, and Green Lantern Corps number 51. Now, like we normally do around here, because why mess with a system that works, we're going to jump right on into things with Power Girl number 15, written by Judd Winnick with artwork by Sami Basri. Now, it's not a secret that this book is in competition, fierce competition, to be my favorite book on the stands. But even by that standard, I was taken back by this issue. Holy crap! There's a lot going on here, and all of it is awesome. Now, this picks up from the end of issue 14. Power Girl is continuing her fight with the monstrous man-machine. Here it's given the name Crash. With the help of one of the employees at her day job, PG is able to figure out how to take this behemoth out. The plan works, sort of. In a tie-in back to the initial issue of Winnick's run and Booster Gold's attempt to get Power Girl to remember Maxwell Lord, the evil dude who wiped almost the entire planet's memory of him. Who should appear but the man himself to whisk away Crash after subduing our heroine. And if that's not bad enough, that employee who helped her earlier, he's got a surprise of his own. Now, love him or hate him, Judd Winnick has not made a misstep since starting his run here. He's doing a great job of making Power Girl matter outside of the JSA and of really tying her to the greater DC universe. More than that, though, he's really starting to build up her cast of supporting characters. In 3 issues, we've gotten a villain for her to face, and we know a little bit more about the people that work for her. What's more, as Power Girl herself says in this issue, the kid gloves are off. Winnick has started the process, has kick-started the process, really, of this book becoming more than just a fun comic to being a good comic. Now, this may sound like a really fine distinction, but it's the difference between reading a book simply because it'll bring a smile to my face and reading a book because it's just a damn good read. Now, Sami Basri, the artist, gets stronger and stronger with each issue. In particular, there's a couple pages, the one where Power Girl is fighting Crash while the clock's ticking down, and the last page. Those two, in my humble opinion, are some of the best panels of the week. Now, I know I sound like a broken record here, but this is good comics. In fact, I would go so far as to say that next to maybe Secret Six, this may be DC's best title. I cannot say more than that. It's so good. Next up, Uncanny X-Men number 527, written by Matt Fraction, with artwork by Wilce Portaccio. Now, this issue is a little bit better than the last one, but as I've said many times before in similar situations, that's kind of like saying that bleach makes a better beverage than antifreeze. It may be true, but you really don't want to have to drink either one. Another of the 5 New Mutants powers emerge. This one's centered around speed. When Psylocke and Celia Reyes are unable to handle either his powers or his hysteria, they call on Hope to come to the rescue. Meanwhile, Emma meets with both Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and Prince Namor to discuss what's going to happen next, now that the mutants have very obviously saved the world and the mutant messiah has returned. This issue is alright, and again, it is better than the previous issue. But Fraction is quickly establishing a pattern here. The X-Men can't handle a new mutant, Hope shows up, new mutant is handled. It feels very cliche and pretty boring. For all the hype of this being Generation Hope, so far we've gotten very little in the way of making anyone care about what's going to happen next. Even the characters are sort of wandering around in the dark, asking the same thing. Portaccio is decent enough here, but I can definitely see some influence by John Romita Jr. to the point that there are panels that I could swear that Romita had drawn. And since I can't stand Romita Jr., you can guess how that makes me feel. An improvement over the last installment, sure, but not enough for me not to rag on this book for continuing to drop the ball. Second Coming was a great springboard for big things from the X-Men family, so will someone please get on the damn diving board? Last book, Green Lantern Corps number 51, written by Tony Bedard and art by Ardian Syaf. Whoo boy! This issue was wow. And that's not a good wow, but it's not a bad wow. I'm actually not sure what to say about this other than wow. Hey Henshaw, aka Cyborg Superman, continues to control the Alpha Lanterns, the attack dogs of the Guardians, and to hold Ganthet hostage while forcing his prisoner to attempt to turn the cybernetic policemen back into their original selves, for the sole purpose of doing the same thing to Hank Henshaw later. Hank Henshaw, of course, wanted to become human again so he can die. Meanwhile, yes, that's right, meanwhile, an almost powerless Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, and Saronic attempt to raise rebellion amongst the machine people that live underneath Henshaw's laboratory, which in turn draws the attention of Alpha Lantern Boudica. Help arrives at the last second, and the stage is set for a final confrontation with Henshaw. Now, after 2 mediocre issues, this was definitely something I wasn't expecting. There were a lot of dangling plot lines from earlier stories being used here, and used well. It's still not a story I'm altogether enthralled with, mostly because I really don't care about Cyborg Superman, and I've always thought the Alpha Lanterns were a dumb idea. But I can still recognize quality when I see it. Bedard has at least ensured that I will be picking up the next issue. Syaf is decent enough, but I wouldn't call him remarkable. He is competent. And that's about it. Despite a confusing sounding story, there's actually some pretty good stuff going on here. The biggest detraction here is that I just don't care about either of the main antagonistic parties, enough for it to have the resonance that I think Bedard wants. So this issue, while I can call it objectively pretty good, was subjectively meh. So there you go, guys. The last 3 books, the ones that came out on August 18th. Now, the best book of the week, drumroll, was actually Thunderbolts number 147, followed by Power Girl. It was just a really good book. Worst book of the week. I gotta give it to probably Batman Beyond, number 3 of 6. That was just not very good at all. Now, with reviews out of the way, kind of give you a heads up on what's going on. I really am kind of liking the episode format, so I'm probably going to stick with that, unless I hear otherwise from any of the people that watch these. Tomorrow, we're going to get the preview show. Friday, I have a very special episode planned. That's right, someone cue up the sappy-sounding music. Very special episode. And then Saturday, we'll do our first of our 4 episodes leading of 16 of the books, because there are 22 I'm grabbing, but 16 of them I'm going to review. And then we'll have a wrap-up show on Wednesday, and rinse and repeat. So, hopefully you'll be back tomorrow for the preview show, and I look forward to hearing from all of you guys. As always, leave comments, let me know what you thought. Hopefully I didn't scare any of you away last night with my ranting. Have a good day. Hope to hear from you soon.